Hey there, Rob Dirks here. I've got some news. I just sold the 1,000th copy of my novel, Where the Hell is Tesla? And I did it in 3 months. So if you're an author and you're in a similar situation as me where you're relatively new and you don't have a fan base following and you don't have influential people that you can reach out to that can help you promote your book, I thought that I might do a post and a little video to show you at least how I did it. This is definitely not the definitive guide on how to sell 1,000 copies of your book, but it's my story of how I did it with this, and I'm learning a ton as I go along. Okay, before we dive in, I just have a couple of thoughts. First, if 1,000 copies of your book sold in 3 months doesn't sound like a lot, you're right. It's not a lot of books. You can't live off the profits of selling 11 books a day. But knowing that the average book sells 250 copies in an entire year, my goal of selling 1,000 in 3 months was actually pretty aggressive. And I think the longer range goal becomes writing several books and developing a career from it. Also, I'm not a book marketer. I'm a writer and a publisher. I'll leave the marketing thinking to people like Tim Grahl from the Outthink group. He's got fantastic posts and a book, and there's links to it in the post that I have here for you, okay? He's been helping New York Times bestsellers for years. Also, since I'm not a book marketer, this is not supposed to be a how to sell 1,000 books tutorial. It's the story of this book, how we got there, and hopefully if you're in a similar situation, it'll spark some ideas on how you can sell your own copies. My goal was copies sold, not money earned, so I did spend money to make money. I did come out ahead, and it made money, but if you're looking to launch a book without spending any money, there's definitely better ways to do it, and like I said, I have links in the bottom of the post for you for that. Also, my goal was copies sold, not free copies given away. There are ways to get free copies in the hands of lots of users so you can get copies out there to everyone. But my personal opinion is I'm not really sure how much that does for you. My last thought, if you watch this video or if you read the post and you get this idea like, wow, everything this guy did worked, I guess, that's wrong too. I tried more things that didn't work and some things did work. I won't list all the stuff that didn't work in the post or in the video. But if you want to, you can reach out to me on my contact page and I will share all the things that I did wrong and the 99 things I now know about what not to do when you launch a book. Okay, let's move on with the pre-launch stuff. First, I wrote a book. Okay, I wrote and I published it, and I would emphasize that this thing took me a year to write. Numerous revisions. I was doing typos into the last second. This thing was really a labor of love, and I think beneath any goal of selling copies for anybody should be the goal of crafting a story that can connect with readers and make them laugh or cry or shiver or whatever. Okay. Once I had the book done, or while I was writing the book, actually, I set up my website, my book landing page, social media, and my Amazon pages. I would tell you how to build your own website, and you can do it very quickly, but I've got a link in the post to a site of Tim Grahl's that shows you how to do it, and it is quite easy using the WordPress application. In addition to my websites, I also have book landing pages that I point to from things like Facebook ads, and you can see one right here. Notice that the only link on the entire page is to buy the book on Amazon. There's no navigation, there's no distractions. For social media, I've heard several people advise this, and I would echo the same thing. Don't overdo it. I'm not a guru, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but the advice of don't overdo it, I think, is sound. Instead of doing every single social media thing out there, for this book, I chose Facebook and Twitter to promote it mostly through Goldfinch Publishing. For my Amazon author and book pages, again, I could get very detailed, but I'll sum it up with the following. Use everything that Amazon gives you for the Amazon book pages. And I sell exclusively through Amazon, and I'll get to that in a minute. Use all the spaces they give you, every single author space they give you to promote yourself. Hook your author page up to your blog and your Twitter feed so that it's constantly being fed with new content. So that people who are browsing around on your books and go to your author page get the sense that it's alive and that you're constantly updating it. Also, in your book page on Amazon, make sure that you're filling out your keywords and that in your description you have keywords. or key phrases. So again, it becomes easier for people to find your content, your book. Then once I had all that set up, I started blogging and posting even before the book was completed. I got more active on Goodreads. Goodreads.com is a great site for authors and readers to connect. It's like for serious readers and authors. I joined new groups. I contributed more, and it made it easier for me when the book came out to do things like post an appropriate post to say, hey, look, my book's out there. If anyone wants to read it and review it, I can give it to you for free. Okay, next, I lined up 25 Amazon reviews before the launch. There's a great class that Tim Grahl offers called Hacking Amazon, and I have a link to it in the post. And it goes into detail about how to get 25 reviews the day you launch. And it's great. I'll give you the very brief summary of it. First, you contact 75 people you know and solicit them to get a free advanced digital copy in exchange for a review. For the people who say yes, you remind them a couple of times before the launch date so that if they're procrastinating or whatever, that they have a chance to catch up and read it and prepare your review. Then on the launch day, you send them a link to the book page in Amazon, reminding them yet again, okay, today is the day, give you a review. And it worked. I got 25 reviews on the very first day. And then once you have that, there's this side thing, which I found really helpful, is get a couple of really close friends to upvote. They have to be honest about it, but upvote certain reviews that you like, so that those become the most helpful reviews that kind of stay on the front page of Amazon. Okay, once all that stuff was done, I published my book. I could give you a crash course on how to publish a book, an ebook, or a print book, and I plan to do that, but there are millions of resources out there that show you how to do that, and I've got a link in the post for that. Now onto the post-launch stuff. Okay, I enrolled my book when I published it in KDP Select to take advantage of the countdown deals that they have, and also the Kindle Unlimited and Kindle Owners Lending Library features. KDP Select stands for Kindle Direct Publishing. When you publish on Amazon, Amazon will incentivize you to publish exclusively through Amazon in exchange for the ability to run free promotions, which I don't do, and countdown deals, which I do. From my first book, Unleash the Sloth, also available on Amazon, I learned that 95% of my sales were coming from Amazon. Anyway, I wasn't really getting lots of sales from the other channels, like Barnes & Noble or iBooks. So when I did this book, I decided to go exclusive, and I took advantage of the KDP Select countdown deals. My book is priced at $3.99. Where the hell is Tesla? And for the countdown deals, they allow you to price it at a temporary discount. So you'd have I did mine at 99 cents for a week. And then it promotes it as, okay, this deal is ending in 6 days. Then from there, I was able to combine those and sync them up with email book promotions, which I'll get to in a minute, so that you had the countdown deals for Amazon and the ebook promotion emails going out at the same time. And it worked. So not surprisingly, the two countdown deals I was able to get in the last 3 months were the spikes in sales for the book. With KDP Select, I also earn royalties, which count as paid sales, under the Kindle Unlimited feature and the Kindle Owners Lending Library lens that they give out. You get royalties for those. They're not as much as your regular royalty, but they do count. And it's not an insignificant number either. It really, really helps. Okay, next, I gave copies away. I think I said that I'm not into free copies, but there are certain cases where it really works. For example, the Goodreads giveaways. Goodreads giveaways are great. I have found for both books that I've done that in Goodreads, people are really into books. So when you do a giveaway, you get a lot of people that get interested in your book, not just the ones that win the book, but for the people that do win the book, you get to interact with them. And some of them become people that you email back and forth with, or they become fans of yours, and some have wound up on my email list. And when one of these Goodreads members posts a review, all of their friends see it. It's a very nice little mini influencer thing going on there. In addition to the official Goodreads giveaways, I've chosen spots in Goodreads to appropriately, not spamming the whole site or anything like that, to appropriately offer my book for free in exchange for reviews. And this worked particularly well with my audiobook. People were like the audiobook thing. People were crazy to get free codes for that, and it worked really, really, really well. Okay, next, I begged for exposure. This is the part that I haven't done right yet. It kind of worked. If you read Tim Grall's book, Your First 1,000 Copies, which I totally recommend, you'll do it better than I have done it. Which in essence is building a platform and a fan base and reaching out to influencers so that you've got a fan base that you know will buy your book and influencers that will help you promote your book so that you're not paying for promotion all the time. I have been interviewed a couple of times. I've gotten a couple of websites. It's been great, but I could do a much better job, and I plan to for the next book. But I did get some exposure, so it helped. Okay, I used paid promotions too. Until I can fully leverage my own growing fan base or influencers that I can reach out to help me promote my own books. In addition to my own efforts, I paid for promotions, and they worked. I was really happy with them. There's links in the post to the ones that I used, and here they are. First, I tried to go up with BookBub, although actually this one did not work because they haven't accepted my book yet. They're really, really selective about who they choose, what books they choose for it, and they have a really popular list, so it's hard to get on, and I have not gotten on that one yet. The next one is Book Gorilla. Book Gorilla cost me $50, and I sold a lot of copies with it. I was really, really happy with that. Book Gorilla's great. Fussy Librarian costs only $15 for a sci-fi listing in their email blasts. These are all sites, by the way, where they send out emails to their subscribers. This one cost me $15. I sold a bunch of copies. I made money on that. I've done 2 of those, by the way. Bargainbooksy.com is another one. That one cost me $35, and I broke even. So I didn't make money on that one, but I did sell more copies. Facebook ads and Google ads. I set my budgets to $5 a day, and you definitely get click-through on that, and I can see all that through the analytics. I did get sales as well, but I would probably use it in the future as a way, like if I wanted to pump up exposure of the book temporarily, run Facebook ads and Google ads, but not as a way to consistently sell books. There are other ones that I used that tanked, but I won't go into details on those because they might not have worked just for me. They might work for other people, so I don't want to slam anybody. But if you want to reach out to me, I'll give you all the gory details. Okay, next, I created an audiobook. This one is kind of funny because the reason I created the audiobook was, I looked at my book page and it didn't look complete. It would look more complete if you had hard, paperback, ebook, and an audiobook. So I said, I wonder if I could do that. And I did. It was great. It got way more response than I expected. People on Audible are crazy about their books, and they love to review books. And on Goodreads, I offered people free audio codes, and people jumped on it. I probably gave away 30 codes for the book. Terrific response, great seller as well. And actually, the royalty on the audiobook is higher than my regular ebook. Why is the audiobook performing? It turns out audiobooks are on the rise. There's an article that I linked to in the post from the New York Times that explains all that. And I think it's great. People are really into listening to their books right now, and it's growing every year. And I'm thankfully riding that wave in a tiny little way, And some of the reviewers, as I said, are great. And I included one of the reviews of the audiobook in the post. And it's one of the most well thought out reviews I've gotten on the book. It was great. And then the last thing I did when I hit 1,000 copies, I just exhaled and I celebrated. There's nothing like that feeling of, all right, getting to a goal. So I hope that some of these things spark some ideas for you, help you sell more copies. If you have any questions at all about anything I've covered here or anything I haven't covered, shoot me an email, go to the contact page on Goldfinch and get in touch with me. All right, good luck with your book and good luck to my book for the next 1,000 copies.